That's really nice. I think a short first date that's a good idea.
People give way
That's a
too
good
much
idea.
too soon.
That's a good
And
idea.
one thing I'm not giving you too soon is my time. You can miss me. You can miss me. I'll give you an hour
You
of
want to be
coffee.
like, oh, like,
A
I kind of
45
like
minute
you.
lunch break. Hey, I'm a really busy girl, but like I have a 45-minute lunch today. So like if you want to take me out to Cafe du Monde, like
Right.
of course. Not that I'd ever go there for coffee.
Ever go
But
there for coffee?
French truck for coffee,
Yeah.
Girls between 25 and 30 are like very much so ready for like marriage and children and love, live, love, life, love.
Yeah. I know what you're
Drool.
trying to say, but go ahead.
But men between 25 and 30 are either taken or absolutely not ready at all.
They're either taken, they're not ready, they're looking, but they're very particular, or they got a kid.
And that was a lot of checks.
What about this? What if I had like a surgery on my face or whatever? What if I had surgery on my face or whatever?
Like handsome Squidward?
Yeah. Or if I had a surgery on my face and I just look just booty ugly now. So,
I'm already in love with
because
you.
Because the attraction. Okay, so this is my point. They're probably already in love with them because they fell
Which
in
is
love
why I
with
said
them.
it's better than Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
But if you you're acting
I'm
like
getting
I'm
on
a
you
bad
now.
person.
I'm on to you.
No, because
I'm on to you.
injury
I'm on to you.
and something like that is very different
I'm
than
on to
simply
you.
not being my type. Don't act like
I bet
shit,
I
if
get
I'm a
ugly.
burn victim, you're not gonna love me.
I bet I
Like,
get
stop.
ugly. I bet I get ugly.
Take us high as too much weight. I still try and fly away. Carry my cross just like I'm A. I still advise them not to play.
18
Okay.
years ago.
Okay. 18, yes.
We were 10 years old.
I was 10 years old.
Your cell phone bill is what's up. All this texting.
OMG, INBD.
It is a big deal. Who are you texting 50 times a day?
IDK, my BFF Jill.
Your BFF Jill, then I'm taking away your phone.
TISNF.
Me paying this bill, that's what's S. Dang it.
You get the point?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that commercial. Very grainy though, but.
IDK, my BFF Jill.
And
That's like my favorite thing to tell people.
Yeah,
when
that
I
is
don't
your
know.
favorite thing to tell people.
I don't know my BFF Jill.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't tell it to everybody though, unless you want to get questioned or not get a.
Well, if you're not old enough,
response.
just say that. Anyway, here we
Okay.
are.
All right. Well, here we are back again with Love in Locker Rooms. We're so excited to be back with y'all. Let's go.
We are. Look at our consistency.
Let's go. We consistent.
We're a little chill today. We're not going on a date night.
Yeah. Why you not wearing that? You just look like you just.
We're having a little snack.
What you got
And
on? You look like you got gauze on all
This
over
is
your
my
body.
maternity outfit, actually.
She got gauze all over her
It's
body.
called Nothing Fits But.
And she got stopped earlier today, and they were like, "Oh, that's
It's
a
a
nice."
cute outfit. Every time I wear this, everyone asks about it, and it's maternity, but I wear it on the daily, so I
They
think I'm
said
gonna.
they said that's a good name for it.
It sure
It's
is.
a good name for it. You look cute in that.
Because nothing fits, but this.
Yeah, that's really cute. You're
This
really
that
cute
fit me
today.
back then, and it fits me now. Sadly.
You just fit it. I like your swag. But we
I'm
are
going
back.
for an old money look these days. Sorry, go ahead.
I am going for an old money look. I like that old money look. I like that. This is clearly not old money. This is clearly like.
So old money of you.
This is
Do you
like.
have socks on
This
at
is
least?
hood. I do got socks on. You think socks on with this would be socks off with this would be nice? Still be nice.
Never.
Why?
He has the nastiest toes I've ever seen.
Stop talking about my toes.
Anytime that you ever wear shoes without socks, I rebuke it. And oh my gosh, dare you wear a thong?
What are we talking about? What?
What do you mean?
Oh, my thong. Like I'm like, what are we talking about?
The sandals.
Oh.
Like rainbow sandals or something.
Well,
I hate it. Rainbow sandals are not made for the boys. Do you own rainbow sandals?
Why not? We stick between the toes, like the
I hate
thong
it.
between
And
the
I
toes.
hate seeing a man in some rainbows.
I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some.
That's such a
especially
California thing.
especially
I
with my
think-
feet.
It's because I grew up there and I just so used to seeing boys with it. But I'm like, boys, cover your toes.
I think.
A girl never looks at some rainbow sandals and says, oh, love.
Oh, he got some pretty feet. That'd be nice.
Even pretty feet don't need to be seen all the time.
I like to see your feet all the time.
Gross. I don't like
You like to see my. You like to show my feet on the internet. Just kind of expose me. But people know my feet look like this, so your feet can look like that. I know that's right. But anyway, yeah. As we kind of shift to a different topic because that was a lot.
Welcome to Love and Locker Rooms.
Love and Locker Rooms. Yeah, guys, you guys subscribe. We are also on podcasts.
Spotify, Apple TV,
Yes.
podcast. Is it a website? Podcast.com?
Podcast? No, podcast app.
Podcast app.
The app. Yeah, the app. So we're on podcast, but we're also on YouTube as you guys are watching.
Yes.
Us listeners. So having a good time. Today's topic is
Relationships.
what's it? Dating. No, dating in
Dating.
today's age.
Dating. Not marriage, but dating.
Dating.
Not that we're the expert daters. Well, I guess we are expert daters because here we are.
We date every day.
We've made it to the finish line.
No, we made it through the finish line.
Okay.
You gotta. Sometimes you gotta flip the terminology. You know what I mean? Because you don't flip the terminology. I'm like, I'm about to start preaching. You know how the pastors be? They be like, well, when you flip it, but anyway, is this generation doomed in terms of dating?
He wrote down his notes. He's like, we should talk about this, and that was his thing. Is this generation doomed?
Is this
What
generation
do you
doomed?
mean? I mean, yeah.
I do feel like this
but
generation
I don't know
is
what you
doomed.
meant by that, but like
I
totally,
will,
yeah.
let me talk about this trend that happened 2 years ago. What about this trend when people say, Cheesecake Factory? If you take somebody to Cheesecake Factory, then
On a
you
first
walk
date?
away from the date. On the first date, you didn't walk away from it.
Our first date was it Domino's or Chick-fil-A? It was one of those two. I can't
I think it was
remember.
Domino's.
Domino's at home. See, the thing is right now in today's world, like we were in college, it's different. But like I am not team home for the first date. But that was like, you know,
Yeah, budget.
Domino's. Okay, if he took me, I remember like the back of my hand, the first time we went on a fancy date. It was like 3 months into dating, and we went to Texas Roadhouse. That was like our first fancy date. And that,
throwing
like,
throwing peanuts on the ground.
So like Cheesecake Factory on the first date, wild.
That's
Insane.
pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice because I will say this: going into a Cheesecake Factory, if the Cheesecake Factory wasn't slapped on the front of the door, you'd be like, this is a nice establishment.
Oh, it's so nice. I have different feelings about Cheesecake Factory now because they gave me food poisoning when I was pregnant with Miss Jubilee. They did email me and apologize, but
Did they? That's nice.
so nice. And I've been back once since, and I was well, and I got
It
the
was
same
good.
order. But in general, Cheesecake Factory was fancy, and the bread, you get to have options of color, like the brown bread, the white
Talk
bread.
about the color.
We love all the breads.
Mm-hmm.
We love. I'm being loud.
You are smacking that food pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie.
Mukbang.
Well, yeah.
I think that is a very wonderful, very fancy first date. And people who said that that's not a good first date are unfortunately not married, and I know why.
Do you think that people are not wanting to go to Cheesecake Factory because they want to go to something more expensive, or do you
Yes.
think that they take somebody, or you think they've taken their last date there,
No.
and they don't want to keep going to the same place that they've taken their last?
Are you saying
dates?
why are girls mad at Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, why are girls mad that Cheesecake Factory is the preference of where a man wants to take them?
I don't think it was
Because
a
it's- 'cause
preference of all men. I think it was just a guy who said that, and the story went viral. And I think that was because it wasn't fancy enough, is what she was saying. She wanted to be taken out to a fancier dinner. I don't agree with that, but I did
don't agree with that either.
I just saw a video, really inspiring. It was an elderly woman, and she had said that men will always disappoint you, and it's better to cry in a Porsche, no, a Lamborghini, than it is to cry in a Honda Civic. So to always pick the rich man.
I don't think you should tell everybody that, because I don't think you should have kept that to yourself, to be honest. I don't think that was great advice at all. So
Anyway, all that to say,
so yes.
she found that it was more fun to date men with wealth.
How do you feel that is working out for her? You know,
That
her for the rest of her
particular,
life. Because I don't think, because the thing is like, if you just chasing money, then you're just gonna keep chasing. Because the thing is, you're never gonna find true love. The thing that if she's trying to find, because the thing is that's what you do, or at least.
Well, her thing was men will always disappoint, so might as well be disappointed in the comfort of a Lamborghini.
So
But
if men are always disappointing, what is she doing to? What is she doing?
Sean, I don't know. She was 90.
But I'm asking you though, like, what do you? Are you defending her
I think
actions?
no. Going back to the cheesecake lady,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I think
Right,
it's weird
okay.
to expect that from a first
Yeah.
date. I do.
Yeah.
I think that a first date is
What do you think? What do you think is acceptable and right for a first date? All right, let's go through age gaps. So let's say college.
okay.
Not
College.
even gonna mention high school because that's just sometimes I feel like that's a little puppy love, but
I think a good first date for a college person would be, yeah, like an Applebee's or a Chili's or a
Acceptable.
Texas Roadhouse. Even though to me that was like super duper fancy that we
that's
did like
fancy.
3 months later. But like
That is so fancy.
in general, looking back, I would have loved to have gone to like this was before NIL, so he had an excuse to not take me to Texas Roadhouse any earlier. But had he had NIL money, I would have expected a Texas Roadhouse or like, I don't know, an Applebee's 2 for $20. They had the
you
3
going
for
in on the triple dipper?
Oh my god. You have no idea my passion for the triple dipper, and if you would have taken me on a date to get a triple dipper, I would have loved you. But I think it's hideous
Yeah.
that people are like, nope, I don't want that.
I think back then when we were like, I wouldn't say back then because obviously just things are different now. But I feel like taking someone on a date in general, I feel like is really, really nice. Just because you're taking time out of just like, oh, like you're not going to the crib, or you're not trying to be like, oh, I'm just trying to hang out.
Don't be the person that lets him take you to the house all the time because you know he's got other. Well, not always, but I feel like nowadays,
Yeah.
if he won't take you out and about, there's a reason.
Yeah. I just feel like him asking you out on a date is really nice. I feel like
Then
that should.
again,
I
guys
feel like you
these
should be
days
honored.
Take multiples out on dates. They don't care.
Okay, but
heard a
aside
story.
from that, let me finish. Aside from that, I feel like taking someone out on a date and being like, look, I want to take you out on a date. Like, I'll pay for your meal or whatever the case is. However they distribute that payment at the end, that's not the point. But let me take you out on a
That is
date.
the point.
Okay. We're gonna get to that. Like, let me take you out on a date. Let me, open your door, chivalry, like
Chili's.
something like that.
I think we've agreed
Yeah.
on Chili's for college.
Yeah.
Now, post college, or mid 20s, before you're in your 30s,
Mm-hmm.
let's think about what a good first date is. Would you like to answer first, or would you like me to answer?
I would say one of the local restaurants that is nice, but like like one of those like from $5. You know how he has like the on the apps where it says $1 through $5 are the most expensive. I'm saying like a 3, like it's right in the middle. I'm saying like it's right in the middle, not where it's too
Just because
expensive.
you're post grad doesn't mean you have wealth.
No, but I'm saying like you can treat somebody and be like, I'm gonna save this to potentially meet my
Yeah,
wife.
because I do
You
think
know
a
what I mean?
lot of people in this day and age in their 20s are serial daters, and I'm not really team that because, like, I want to feel special. One, I don't want to have to go on 10,000 dates a week with men, and I also don't want men to be going on me being one of many dates.
One
So,
of many.
I mean, I don't want to be
Yeah.
the 5th date of the week,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good. But for me, it's more about thought, I think, in the 20s. I would say a cutie patootie walk around the French Quarter. Local.
Well, some people aren't in New Orleans, so just say park.
A cute park walk with lots of people in public spaces. And then a quick stop at the coffee shop for a pastry and a coffee.
Or ice cream.
Or an ice cream. And that's it. I hate long first dates. I hate the idea of that. And I think a lot of people like to talk a lot on their first dates.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, maybe just a coffee and a walk.
That's nice.
But it's thoughtful.
That's really nice. I think a short first date that's a good idea.
People give
That's
way
a
too
good
much
idea.
too soon.
That's a good idea.
And one thing I'm not giving you too soon is my time. You can miss me. You can miss me. I'll give you an hour.
You want to be
coffee.
like, oh, like,
A
I
45-minute
you.
lunch break. Hey, I'm a really busy girl, but like I have a 45-minute lunch today. So like if you want to take me out to Cafe du Monde, like
Right.
of course. Not that I'd ever go there for coffee.
ever
But
get her for coffee.
French truck for coffee, you know.
Yeah. Like a cute
Like
coffee
a cute
spot.
little.
Yeah.
Don't take them to Starbucks. Love Starbucks, but like.
I feel like that's just like so. Yeah,
Put
some thought.
Gosh.
Some thought into
Go to
that.
Evolve.
Yeah, you just shouting out all the coffee spots right here, huh? She just shouting out all the coffee junks and saying like, "Look, guys, go here." But anyway, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Keep it short, keep it sweet.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody like wants you for the second date, and then the
Yeah.
third date, and the fourth date.
Don't
I feel
give them
like,
too much on the first date.
I feel like it's just like when you do something for too long, you might find an error or you might find a red flag.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to keep it short, so it's just like, all right, he's got enough, and let me
give him more next time.
Let me give him more next time.
I think
that's good.
I think that's the number one problem with dating these days is giving too much. I think a lot of times girls give way too much because we're lovers, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what you feel like guys do too much of, but for me on the girl side, I feel like just always too much. Like, let's pull it back. Let's not do the most. Let's not give them everything yet and make them want more.
Well, it's kind of like the contrary. Like, y'all give too much, so we don't give enough. And so I feel
100%.
like if you are giving too much, we're kind of like, well, dang,
I'm
like,
gonna
she
let
kind
you
of going
give.
a little too much, too fast. But the thing is, like,
I'm gonna let
you
you
got to
give.
think about us and our nature. Like, inherently, we like to chase. Like, we like to, you
Yeah,
know,
so
we like to
if you're
come to you.
giving-
We like, and honestly, it makes us feel good when we like, oh, I just bagged her. Like, I just got her. Like, I got her in the back. Instead of like somebody coming, like y'all coming to us, it's kind of like, well, dang, like.
Yeah, I would
She's
never
she's a bit
approach-
thirsty, you know what I mean?
Maybe this is me being controversial, but I don't think I would ever approach a man first. Have I ever in my life? Never once. I've never approached a man first.
Okay.
I think that, like, why are you saying it like
I'm
that?
saying okay.
I just think, like, I mean, sure, like, go ahead, do that, but I feel like let him chase you down.
And look, nothing. And let's be clear. Nothing is wrong with a
No
woman.
shade against that.
Nope.
No, but
Look,
I'm just
look.
saying, that's an example.
Look, Ruth chased Boaz, and ain't nothing wrong with a woman
sure
chasing
did.
a man. All right. But I will say, but it's for us. Not
that
saying
was a
it's
different
for
culture.
It's a different
This
culture,
day and age,
right?
Men love being lazy in relationships, and I'm not gonna let that happen. If me and you were dating right now, I would be making you work.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's fair, because the thing for us, we want to chase,
Yeah.
but we don't want it to be like just impossible. But we want a challenge. Like we want
A challenge.
We want to chase. Yeah.
But I also think it's really hard. Like, I find that a lot of my friends struggle dating right now because girls between 25 and 30 are, like, very much so ready for, like, marriage and children and love, live, love, life, love.
I know what you're
Drool.
trying to say, but go ahead.
But men between 25 and 30 are either taken or absolutely not ready at all.
They're either taken, they're not ready, they're looking, but they're very particular, or they got a kid.
That was a lot of checks.
I'm sorry.
That's all
It's
of the
true.
above are
It's true.
options.
Hey, let me just tell you, every man in the world.
I think a lot of guys in their late 20s are either the taken ones because the good ones got
That's fair.
snatched up,
That's fair.
or
I got some friends that are good ones, but they haven't been taken up. But go ahead.
totally, I'm just saying the average pop
Yeah.
of what I've been staring
For
at.
sure. The G-pop.
The G-pop.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are single a lot of times are, like, very much so chose heavily to not be related, like, in relationships right now, and
Yeah.
therefore going crazy still.
Yeah.
Like, maybe believing that their frontal lobe is not yet developed, even though it maybe has.
You're going off a Love Island show. We've been watching Love Island recently, and we've been
What was her name? Bella?
the
The girl who, like,
we've been
wouldn't kiss
judging quite a
anyone?
bit.
I'm Team Bella for that because you don't gotta kiss everyone all the time.
It's true.
Good for her. No wonder they all wanted her for a sec because she was the one that they couldn't all get.
Yeah, I think that's really it. I think that's more so why ICE is our generation doomed, because like someone who's like trying to save themselves and trying to, she treats herself with high value, and sometimes they go after girls who are a little bit more promiscuous, and want to be a little more scandalocious, like Wicked says. And I think that some guys gravitate towards that for quick satisfaction instead of looking.
But who do they always
in
end
the
up
future.
with? Who do they always end up with? The one that you can get with right away, or the one that they had to chase?
Who do they get with, or which lasts longer?
Which one do they end up with in the end?
I mean,
You're a man. Just tell me.
I mean, most of the time they end up with the girl who they can get quicker.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, my
I mean,
advice
that's
is
just.
bad.
I mean, you got to think about it. Like,
That's who they end up with?
I think that's.
Yeah, but
who
you're
they
in a
end up
population
with.
of men who are in the NFL, and I feel like that's a whole nother dating situation where it's like
I would
men
say
in the
this.
NFL really could get like anyone they want. Unfortunately,
I will defend some NFL guys, and I will say this. I will say it is very, 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 very hard for them to find a girl who is for them for the right reasons.
Oh, for sure.
And so I feel like for them, I think sometimes they will try to get a woman who is like it's just quick to get. But I think they really want somebody who's there with them and
To like actually date.
who actually wants to date, and also who's going to understand their situation. Because the thing is like being in the NFL is hard.
See, that's the number one thing is people always ask me like, does Juwan have a brother? Does Juwan have a teammate? Does Juwan have a blah blah blah? Yes.
But y'all got to be like.
But it's a wild world.
Yeah.
I always tell my friends that they should go to a fancy hotel or a fancy bar. I mean, if you want an NFL player, like, hit me up, I guess. But if you want another man that's not in the NFL or maybe in the NFL, dress up, get cute, take yourself to a fancy bar and let a man buy you a drink. I don't see why that's a problem. I think that's pretty easy peas.
Right.
But no one ever takes my advice because it's scary to solo date.
It is. It is scary. I feel like it is scary for a woman to just go to the bar and just sit there at a nice bar and someone buy you a drink. Because most of those times, those guys are trying to look for something anyway.
I don't think so.
Sometimes. Let's say
not
sometimes.
at a fancy bar. A fancy bar?
Okay.
Like, go to the Four Seasons, sit at the bar.
Okay.
Sit at the chandelier bar and just wait for someone to, like, buy you your next drink.
So, what if you just grow thirsty and nobody ever buys you a
Well, you
drink?
buy yourself the first one. And
Oh,
if a
right.
man wants to buy you the second,
Oh, that's right. So that's what you do. So, they walk up to you and say, oh, what you drinking?
what you drinking? I'll get another one and I'll get a on the rocks.
Get a whiskey on the rock. I mean, I don't know how many women drinking whiskey, but...
But I think that's how you find a fancy, classy, good man. Because, like, you're not going to find a good man at the club, let's be honest.
You won't find a good man at the club because he's probably there, for a quick, good time.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were talking about. Like, some guys usually go for the quick girls. But, if you want to, I feel like some of those good girls sometimes are at the bars.
100%. But I'm
good girls at
saying
the
where
bars.
you can get the most success.
Yeah. If you were dating right now.
I met you technically at a bar.
Well, yeah, anyway. If you were single, where would you take your own advice and go into the bar? Like, what other things would you do if you were single right now?
If I was single right now, I would definitely do my bar trick. I feel like that is a good one. I don't think I trust the apps. The apps kind of suck. But maybe like, what is it, Raya? I'd maybe get on Raya. I don't know. The apps are like scary for me.
Okay.
What I would do is I would probably go places with my girlfriends and do like hobby type things.
Okay.
And meet people there.
Okay.
Like join groups and things that I like.
Yeah, like maybe a Bible study. You want to meet your man at a Bible study?
Well, that's a great example. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Bible study.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that's where you're gonna meet your husband. That's for sure.
Go meet him there.
But like, I don't know. Where do men go besides video games?
Shannon, stop. She talking about video gaming. I think for us, I like the trick of going to a bar and finding a woman there. A bar is nice. I feel like, obviously, church group might be good. It'll be good. Sometimes, those things can get a little tricky just because, like, everybody's watching. They just want you to, everybody's putting pressure on that when you go to, Bible study group with a young lady who's also maybe interested.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a park. Walking in a park.
What is he talking about? You're gonna go walk at a park and look for a lady?
Not saying you
that doesn't sound good.
Not saying. Oh my gosh, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying if you're walking in the park and you like kind of doing your own thing, and then other ladies walk in the park too, so it's kind of like Oh, how you doing? Yeah, kind of little thing. You don't think so? You don't think like walking in the park, just kind of walking in the park, and then you'll meet somebody there? Many people I've seen walk at a park or at a gym.
A lot of people meet at the gym for
That's
sure.
That's nice. That's nice. Meeting at the gym.
But then you're gonna have to marry a gym bro.
That's not saying you gotta marry your gym bro. I'm just saying you're seeing someone who's taking care of their body and being intentional about their body, something like that. But I don't know. I think the bar is nice. I think that's real subtle. I feel like it's, for a man, like again, like we're such aggressors. Not aggressors as in like but aggressive like we want to chase, the woman that we want to, desire that we desire. So I feel like that can be anywhere. I feel like for a woman you have to set the stage of where you're gonna be. But for us, like we kind of. It don't matter where it's at. Like, we could just holler at you.
Well, that's why, like, I know a lot of girls say that they like to do stuff like that is, like, the type of man that they want. Like, if you're going to want to find the type of man that goes to a bar, then that's the kind of man that you go, Or if you want to find a man that is the type of man that goes to a club, then that's where you go.
That's where, yeah.
So it's just, like, you have to think about that. But
yeah. But I agree with what you said. Like, groups are good. I feel like there are groups, like, even, like, running groups. Like, I feel like there's people that have running groups. Because I've seen on Instagram, like, people do running groups, workout groups, like people who run miles together and stuff like that. I know people here that do stuff on, like, maybe Wednesdays who run, like, a couple miles together every Wednesday. Like, maybe you can meet your person there. So it's just, like, maybe, yeah, like you said, get in a group.
We sound like we're super not good at this.
I think the thing is, like, I think if your interest, whatever your interest is, you're gonna find them.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good. I think it's just being intentional. Whatever your hobby
I am
is,
not interested in football.
Well, I found you. I found you.
So I don't know. Like, I definitely don't want to go to a sports bar and be like,
I
let me
think-
find your one here.
I would definitely don't go to a sports bar. I'm definitely not gonna be there. But I think this is for people who are having a hard time finding their significant other. I think it's not more so like,
I think
you want to
that-
find a man? Oh, this is.
I always tell my friends too to do the bar thing and to always go for an older man. Not like super duper older, but like, I don't know, 30 to 35.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
nothing is wrong with that.
Like, might as well. I mean, if he's mature and ready, let's do this thing. Because one thing I don't have to do is sit here and get old till my ovaries stop working. Because let's be honest, the woman's ideal age to get pregnant is between 25 and 27. So those years are long gone.
I think women nowadays can get pregnant.
They
a
absolutely
lot.
can. But the female body, the female anatomy, the best years to get pregnant,
Yeah.
25 to 27. I'm past that.
Well, that's human minds because the Lord said He will do it, so it don't
He
matter.
sure does. But I don't want kids when I'm 40. If you do, you can date a 20-year-old, I guess.
Yeah, he got some good.
I don't know what
spry-
I'm talking about. I'm over here a cougar.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, I think I think it's a bit interesting. But I also think it's good for a guy, to, when he pursues a woman, just take her out on a date. Don't invite her back to the crib.
Date.
No Netflix and chill.
Don't ask me to come over.
No, I think that's the worst.
Now
thing
I'm
you
never
can do.
texting you back.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing you do. I think that's kind of, now looking back, I think it's creepy. I think like dudes, they say yeah, invite her back to the crib. I think it's just creepy, just because like, you want her to feel special. I think you want her to feel special. You want to feel like, oh, like he's showing me y'all.
If you
like,
asked
I'm
me
in
to come
public.
over the night that we met, I would have been so icked.
Yeah.
I would have never wanted to see you again.
Well, it's a good
I
thing
kind
you
of didn't
did.
want to see him again on the first day we saw him, but he hit me up the next morning.
I did. I hit you up again. Got my rebound. Yeah, I just think I think it makes a girl feel special. Do you
Yeah.
feel special if like, especially if you're doing something different? Because I feel like nowadays
Yeah.
it's so foreign to go out on a date.
Find something random in the town that you can do. Like, what shows are out this week? Like, is there anything happening at the theater?
That'd be nice, like a theater.
Like, what's happening? Put some thought into this.
Ceramics.
It doesn't have to be expensive.
Painting. Go cycling. Go on a bike ride. Do you think that's nice? If I were to ask you for the first date, like let's go on a bike ride. Go on a picnic bike ride.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. You don't like riding no bike.
I love riding bikes.
You don't like
It's
riding
a
no
small
bike.
passion of mine, actually.
But yeah, I also wanted to, because we were just talking about Love Island. Do you think those dating shows actually work?
No. No.
Like
But
Love Is
I
Blind,
did see-
all that.
I think our second ever Bachelor couple just got married.
Real.
But I don't think they met on Bachelor. I think they met on Bachelor in Paradise.
Hmm.
Isn't there like only one Bachelor couple that's actually married now?
No, there's a couple.
It's because these TV shows, they want the drama, so they bring on, like, obviously, you know, the tea.
Yeah.
But it's like there's so much tea that none of these relationships are going to work. None of them. I think that Love is Blind is probably the closest, or, like, maybe Married at First Sight. If I passed away, I'd be okay with you going on, like, maybe Married at First Sight.
All right, so let's put it this way.
That's totally fine with me.
All right, let's put it this way. Married at First Sight. Do you think somebody could be married and eventually fall in love the moment they see them at the altar?
If I'm not attracted to you, I'm never falling in love with you. And I think it's so fake when these shows act like you have to be a good person.
The attraction will come.
You're here for the wrong. No, I'm sorry. I just have to be attracted to you. If you were ugly, I wouldn't want to be with you.
So for you, it has to be attraction. Attraction
It's
has
not
to be
everything, but it's important. So to go on something like Married at First Sight and we see each other, I wouldn't do you the disservice of walking down. I would just make eye contact.
You would look down the aisle. You would just turn around.
Actually, I think it was the New Orleans season that someone did that.
Your eyes, your eyes ain't that good. You gonna look down the aisle and be like, I think I'm feeling a little sick. I'm gonna turn around and go.
Gag myself really quick.
No,
but like, okay, and then the Love is Blind thing, like, I feel like that is a little better than Married at First Sight because you actually fall in love with someone's personality at least.
Love is Blind.
So then if you were like really ugly and I went on Love is Blind with you, but I like fell in love with you.
Do you think it's important that somebody builds a emotional connection before they're physical? I think that's kind of like,
my gosh.
Yeah. So Love is Blind is a little bit better
Yeah.
than Married at First Sight. Yeah. But then again, do you think the attraction trumps all of that?
I think if you're not attracted to them at all, you might as well nip it in the bud.
So it's all the attraction for you. So they gotta have both.
It's not just attraction for me.
So what I'm saying is that you gotta have both attraction and emotional.
If you're trying too hard to be a good person, that you're acting like their physical doesn't matter to you, then literally stop lying.
All right. So what about this? What if I had like a surgery on my face or whatever? What if I had surgery on my face or whatever?
Like handsome Squidward?
Yeah. What if I had a surgery on my face and I just look just booty ugly now? So
I'm already in love with
because
you.
The attraction. Okay, so this is my point. They're probably already in love with them because they fell in love with them.
Which is why I said it's better than Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
But if you... Okay, you're acting
I'm
like I'm a bad person. No,
I'm on to you.
No, because injury and something like that is very different than simply not being my type. Don't act like,
shit, if I'm
a burn victim, you're not going to love me.
I bet
like,
I get ugly. I bet I get ugly. But what I'm saying is that...
If you were like a burned victim or something...
Yeah, if I had like burns all over my face, like I'm just like that dude from
you're acting like, okay, if I fell in love with you and something happened to you,
yeah,
I would love you eternally.
But that's what I'm saying.
That is very different, Juwan, than someone being hideous.
Oh my God, I didn't say that is hideous. I'm just.
But you're acting like someone's attraction and someone's like actual injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
No, those are two different things.
You know, I get.
If I lost my legs today, would you still love me?
Absolutely.
Right, but like if I had, I don't know.
I get where you're coming from.
A unibrow that wrapped around my chin, like.
All right, goodness gracious, you gonna have a freaking chin strap, unibrow, eyebrow, but no, I get what you're saying because you're saying like I've already experienced you with like everything, like looks, emotional, everything. But if I'm just like experiencing you emotionally and I haven't seen you physically, it's different.
Yeah, and I think if you saw me physically and you weren't feeling it.
Yeah. I see. I know what you mean. I get that.
Yeah.
I have two more shows that I want to bring up to you. Temptation Island.
I think anybody that goes...
Do you think if your not marriage, relationship is on the verge of either breaking up or engagement, do you think an ultimatum going on a show where you're going to be tempted by other people...
Are you talking about ultimatum or are you talking about Temptation Island?
Is that ultimatum or temptation?
The ultimatum is where you go on to give them an ultimatum. Temptation Island is where you go to have a temptation on an island.
Isn't it the same junk?
Heck,
it's similar.
No.
It's similar.
Temptation Island, you go to see if they'll cheat on each other when they're tempted. The ultimatum, you have to exit with the answer yes or no. Will I marry you? Yes or no?
Well, all right. Let's talk about Temptation Island because they're bringing a couple on there to be tempted. Do you like what is up with our generation? taking our significant other.
We're letting
there.
men have too much power because, sorry, Temptation Island is not for the girls. Temptation Island is not for the girls.
But I would say this. The girls are acting just like fellas now. If you want to be honest.
I think that is another problem, is just because we were hurt by men so bad as a society of ladies, like, and I don't want this to come off wrong because I'm not meaning it in a wrong way, but I don't think that we have to act like, if we're mad at the way men are acting, we don't have to act like them to get back at them.
Fair.
Because we all know that the men that are acting like this are hurt inside. So now we're hurting ourselves inside. Just because you see him being crazy doesn't mean you have to go be crazy to get back at him. Like,
right.
Now you're going to be hurting.
Right. I agree. I feel like an eye for an eye never works. And the thing is, you're only going to be hurt at the end because you're trying to do something that a man does. And you weren't created like that. I'm not saying that men should be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. See, I know I'm going to catch you. I know.
They have
I'm not saying that men should be doing that. But I'm saying just because they do it doesn't mean that you should be doing that as well. Yeah. And so I think, women try to take that power back. Like, oh, I'm a woman. Like, I can do just what a man does. I'm like, no. You want to be desired. You want to be
Some of the stuff that we see as like empowerment these days do confuse me a little.
No, I'm not with that.
Without getting into it too much.
I'm all into empowering women, but I ain't into empowering that. Like,
let's empower them in a
better way.
Powerful way.
in a better way.
Word.
Like Ruth did.
Yeah.
And
she got herself a rich man.
And
she got him fast. And he was older. See, Ruth is the blueprint. Ruth is the blueprint.
Ruth is the blueprint of, if you want it.
I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it.
You got it.
She surely did.
Ariana Grande.
She got it all.
Ariana Grande. And lastly, Love Island. Do you think that they actually truly find love? I don't think I've seen a married couple there yet, but do you think that works?
Tommy and Molly are back together.
Okay.
And I feel like they were like pretty pure and genuine. Was there any couples besides them? No, but I will say that I feel like that is the most realistic, because at least you're spending all day, every day dating
a long time
each other for 6 weeks or something, rather than one person dating 95 people for 6 weeks, or blindly dating someone for 3 weeks, or never dating someone. Like, come on.
You going in right now, huh? You keep slapping that darn pillow, huh? But no, I feel like, Love Island, I feel like it's a great concept just because you're there for a while. People do get in, pickles where they're in love triangles, and sometimes they're even freaking in squares. But I think,
what did Johnny Depp say? If you fall in love with two people, pick the second one. Am I right? Because if you would have loved the first one, you never would have picked them to begin with.
Johnny, I would say
he did that with Amber, for sure.
That is some words of wisdom. I will say that you did do that with Amber. And
maybe neither of them would be another option.
I would say neither. I would say don't choose either of them. I feel like a woman wants to be 100% sure that you are with them. Not like 70-30, 50-50, 80-20. But yeah, I think, Love Island's on to something, but I think they just don't have a,
They just need some people that like actually want to fall in love, not get famous.
I think people just want to get famous.
Not in the UK though.
Not in the UK. I feel like the UK, they really in it. They want to.
That's what I feel deep down, but I never know.
Yeah, I feel like the US, they just, But
yeah.
Anyway, that was good. I feel like we should run that back sometime soon. That was a good one.
What one?
This episode.
Oh.
I feel like we got a lot more in there.
Really?
Yeah, man. I feel like we got something in there. Dating's good. Dating's a hot topic.
Dating's a hot topic, and no one takes my dating advice. But if you would, you'd get married. And if you would, you'd find yourself an NFL husband. So start listening to my advice and find you.
All right, let's put it this way. This is my advice, and this is her advice. So my advice is just be like Ruth. If you want a man in the NFL, just DM him. If he doesn't DM you back, then hey, he just didn't want you.
What did we just say about not... We don't reach out first.
Be a Ruth, and be courageous. And other than that, let a man pursue you, because sometimes that happens. And her advice, if you want a man, go to, the bar, the
fancy bar,
something like that. Said, wear something nice. Please don't go into something janky or anything like that. Wear something nice. Put some, perfume on. Buy yourself the first drink. and let somebody buy it for you. All right? That's
Period.
our advice. Okay? Now you wanna pray, or you want me to pray?
It's your turn.
Okay, it's my turn. That was good, Shan. Nice job. Father, we come to you today. We just thank you, Lord. God, we just thank you for the platform that we have, and thank you for satire that we get to, share with others. This is also fun. Dating is fun, but we all want it to be under how you wanted dating to be. Thank you for examples like Ruth and Boaz, which is great because we honestly would love to be like them. They had a great relationship and a great marriage. So God, we just thank you for what you do and who you are. Bless this podcast. Put your hands on it. Always cover it. And for people to take it in the right way. We thank we love you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Send me a DM if you want to date his teammate.
Don't DM me because I'm not going to answer. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here for episode 6. It was great.
Was it episode 6?
It was episode
Anyway,
6.
subscribe and we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.